this video I'm going to talk to you about the lesson activity. So let's go to our test course. And you'll see that what I've done is I have created a new topic called lesson, and I've moved that between the homepage link and the quiz. It doesn't appear in the side menu yet because there's no activity or resource attached to it. So we need to turn editing on, scroll down, add an activity, lesson. Now lessons are brilliant. They are really flexible. The good thing about lessons is that you can use them to navigate users between different items of content based on their perhaps an answer to a question or a choice that they make that you give them. These choices can also be graded, and grading is a whole other topic that we'll cover in a future video. But it means that you can effectively ask users questions and test their knowledge of content whilst they're going through the learning, as well as giving them an overall quiz at the end. So let's give this one a name. You can give lessons a time limit for completion. You can enable dates between which the lesson is available. And you can set a maximum number of answers to the question or the navigation choices that you give. And this will become apparent when we build one. Grading, as I said, we'll cover in the future, and the lessons and scorings all relate to that grading concept. There are various other options here, like maximum number of attempts. Do you want to display a progress bar and a left-hand menu? And these areas here at the bottom relate to what's called conditional activities. Again, something to be covered in a future lesson. Well, we've set our basic criteria, so let's move on. And this takes us to the lesson build page. Now, before we move on from here, it's important that you have a very clear idea in your mind about your lesson and how it's going to be structured. So let's look at an example of a completed simple lesson and then look at how you might go about planning your lesson. I'm now going to demonstrate a simple lesson that I'll then break down afterwards to show you how it was built. So we're going to lesson. What would you like to learn about today? Rocket, darts or guitar picks? We'll click guitar picks. That tells me a fascinating fact and asks me to return to the content choice page. This time we'll pick darts. Another fact and a prompt to return to the content choice page. And this time we'll pick RocketLMS. Gives me a fact and then says click here to test your understanding. So it now takes me to a true/false question. Is RocketLMS a learning management system? I'm going to say true, submit. And it says yes, well done, continue, and it takes me to the end of the lesson. Now before you can even start doing something like this, I would strongly recommend you put together a lesson plan, and this is what we're going to look at now. Okay, so here's my lesson plan of the steps to take to build the lesson you've just seen. So my first page is a content choice page, so I'll have a question on there about where the user wants to go. Choice 1, if they pick RocketLMS, it will go to page 2. Page 2 will have info about RocketLMS. but only one choice. That choice will take them to the RocketLMS question page. Down here, that will have two choices of answer, Learning Management System or Learning Management Site. One of those will go to a correct page and one to an incorrect page. The correct page, you can choose to end the lesson or go back to the content choice page. If you get the answer incorrect, it will give you one choice, and that's to go back to the RocketLMS question page, and hopefully they'll pick the right answer. Going back to the content choice page, if they pick darts, it goes to page 3, which gives them some info about that subject, and then takes them to the only choice back to the content page. And finally, choice 3, guitar, takes them to the guitar content page, and again they've only got the one choice, which is to go back to the content. So in this scenario, the only way to actually end the lesson is to go to the RocketLMS site and answer the question correctly. Now that we've completed our lesson plan, we're ready to build our lesson.